Here.
Marport.
Here.
Cook.
Here.
Oppenheim.
Here.
Takaoka.
We have a quorum. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. Okay. Is there any citizens who wish to address the board tonight on anything other than what will eventually be on committee of the whole? Okay. Life-saving awards. Officer Lindsay Lass. You gonna do this?
Sir.
Working for?
There we go.
Okay.
And Officer Ulysses Hernandez. Officers front and center, please. This is getting to be quite a regular event at these board meetings, and that's a good thing. Mr. President, members of the board, it's truly my honor and privilege to stand before you again tonight to recognize the exemplary actions of two of our police officers. As you've heard me say before, each year our police officers and firefighters receive dozens, and in some cases hundreds of hours in training in areas such as arrest procedures, firearms proficiency, emergency medical response and treatment. Of course, the hope is that they will never need to apply that training to a real-life situation, either on a firing range or on a CPR dummy. The question is, in a true emergency, how will our police officers respond amid distraction when every second counts? Will they be able to do their jobs when they must, when it truly counts? And in this case, these officers absolutely did. I'm going to read the one since they both pretty much read the same for both officers. On Thursday, April 20th, 2017, you responded to a call for an ambulance assist at the Brookdale Senior Living Center for a female in the dining room who was choking. Upon your arrival, you found an elderly female who was blue in color and not breathing. You promptly administered the Heimlich maneuver as your partner was performing back blows to the victim in an effort to dislodge a blockage to her airway. You were able to remove the blockage prior to Countryside paramedics arriving, and they took over the care of the victim, who was lowered to the floor. They had determined that there was still a partial blockage to her airway, but that the complete obstruction had been removed, allowing for her to be able to breathe. Your swift response and decisive action played a vital role in saving this patient's life, and two of you are to be committed for your life-saving efforts. Thank you for a job well done. For a police officer, there's no greater service or act that they can provide than to save the life of another person. For Officer Lass, this is her second life-saving award in the past 2 years. Officer Hernandez has only been with the department for approximately 9 months, but he's off to a great start. Thankfully, most of us go through our entire careers without an opportunity to be involved in a life and death situation. But as a community, we should always be very proud of these officers, and we should certainly rest a little easier knowing that these officers are on the street protecting us every day. Thank you again.
Oh,
Thank you.
before you go.
Chief,
Sir.
might as well stay here.
Oh.
Please. Okay. This is a proclamation for Chief Mark Fleischauer and appreciation for his dedicated service to the village of Vernon Hills. Whoever wrote this big, I appreciate. Was that you, Lynn? God bless you. Okay, Mark Fleischauer was hired as chief of police by the village of Vernon Hills on April 4th, 2000. After starting his career with the village of Barrington in 1977, and then moving to the village of Palatine, where he was promoted to the rank of deputy chief. During his tenure with Vernon Hills Police Department, Mark takes great pride in the department's participation in the Special Olympic events throughout the years. That one got you right there? Holy Christ. All right. Achieving reaccredited status 4 times through Cali. Did everybody hear that in the room? Did everybody hear that? Does everybody know what Cali means? Thank you. Including being awarded flagship status in 2009. The expansion and renovation of the police facilities, implementation of consolidated dispatch facilities, creation of a village-wide career development program, and implementation of VHPD leadership development program. And Mark encouraged department participation and recognition of veterans that had served this community through events like Jim Hire Fishing Derby, honor flights, Operation Welcome Home, Blue Line for the Front Line, Run for the Cops, VA Hospital, and Assisted Living Facility holiday visits. The Veterans Coat Drive and Operation Stand Down have become countywide programs. Mark oversaw community and staff participation growth in events like National Night Out, Lake County Law Enforcement exhibit, Citizens Police Academy, Women's Self-Defense class, Motors on Milwaukee, Pet Microchipping, Toys for Tots, Angel Tree Program, and Shop with a Cop. During his time, Vernon Hills established itself as a center of Lake County law enforcement with the Lake County MAG, Northwest Illinois Regional Crime Lab, Lake County Major Crime Task Force, Central Lake County Consolidated Dispatch Center, having all relocated to Vernon Hills. Now that's probably worth getting teary about. Mark served as chairman of Lake County Major Crimes Task Force and Northeast Illinois Regional Crime Lab, Northwest Police Academy, and as a board member on Lake County Metropolitan Enforcement Group, MEG, and Northern Illinois Police Alarm System, NIPUS. After a 40-year law enforcement career, Mark will be retiring from Vernon Hills Police Department on June 11th, 2017 to enjoy his family, grandchildren, and relaxing in the sun and sand. You got a sandbox in the backyard or something?
No.
Or?
No, sir, headed to Florida in the morning.
Okay, that's nice.
It's a big sandbox.
Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Roger L. Byrne, President, and the Village Board of Trustees do hereby express our sincerest appreciation of Chief Mark Fleischauer for his years of faithful and dedicated service to the residents and employees of the Village of Vernon Hills, and wish him, his wife Mary Beth, and family well in his retirement this 6th day of June 2017. Chief. I'll give you
Thank you.
Okay, Chief.
I thought this would
Are
get
these
a little
prepared
easier.
remarks and you got it all written down?
Sir, after working with you for 17 years, I know that we're always prepared to give remarks. I thought this would get a little easier after last Thursday, but apparently not. I honestly would like to thank President Byrne, the members of the board, both present and past, for your support and trust in me and your support. And your support of the police department. I also want to make sure that I thank John Kalmar and members of the administration, again, both present and past, for their support of me in the police department for the past 17 years, and for the members of the community that have allowed me to serve this long. Thank you.
You can keep going. You want to keep going?
No, it probably gets easier from this point because I'm winging it.
Okay.
But thank you very much. I truly mean that. Thank everyone in the village. It's been an honor to serve here, and it's been the highlight of my career.
And can you tell me what CALEA stands for?
Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies.
Does everybody know what that is in this room now?
Now,
You do now, don't you? And you know who I'm looking at right now. Yeah. Okay, Chief. Here's the key to the city, by the way, too.
thank you.
This is the key for the special door.
Does this get me into summer celebration?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He wants to be on the list in perpetuity for summer celebration, so let's do that. Okay. Okay, more official business. Right? You should. Yeah, good. I hope your partner around here does too.
oh, don't worry, we had a napkin.
I always knew this day was coming sometime.
Tom.
You're gonna stay? Stay for a meeting?
I'm going to stay for the swear again.
Well, that's good. You wanna stand up here?
I would love to.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Kim, take a picture of the chief and Roger. Did you get a picture of Roger and the chief? Okay, yeah, why don't we do that? Take your plaque with you.
Not the teeth.
You know what, Chief? You can take that one too.
That one too, right?
All right. All right, Chief. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, well, stay up here.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Just do this.
Chief Patrick L. Crease.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Got the wife here,
I
you
do.
got
I
your
have,
mother
I
here.
have several guests.
What do you got here?
Let me introduce you first. My mom, Yvonne Priest, right there. My wife Jackie. My daughter Julia. My sister Jenny in the purple. My son Patrick. My other son Nicholas. My brother Paul.
Okay.
And then we're also joined by many professional colleagues. Mark Hornstein, the new interim chief of police for the Village of Winnetka there.
Okay.
His wife, a colleague at the Village of Winnetka, Director of Water and Electric, Brian Keys, close personal friend, Bill Homer, the Assistant Chief from Glen Ellen, Tom Jones, the Chief of Police from Lindenhurst, and the best damn fire chief someone could ask for as a police chief partner is Alan Murkowski right there from Winnetka.
Okay.
And then, Mr. Mayor, if I could, I'd like to introduce one more personal friend of mine that has honored me to come tonight, Al Manfrey. Here, Al, raise your hand, hi, and his daughter Virginia. Al is, I call Al an Army buddy. I'm sorry, before we get to Al, Larry is hiding in the behind the camera, but Larry Martin is a good personal friend and police colleague, retired recently. So, and Larry's friends with Al. I call Al an Army buddy, but we didn't serve in the Army at the same time. So, in my days were far easier than Al. Al started in a place called Currahee in Toccoa, Georgia. Their rally cry was Curry. He's one of the last remaining members of Easy Company 2nd Battalion, 506 Parachute Infantry Regiment, otherwise known as Band of Brothers. So Al is just turned 95, and he's a great inspiration. That would have helped, huh? Okay, thank you. So,
Yeah.
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 Kids, anything.
God, this is good, they're taller
That's right, how about it?
by a lot.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. State of Illinois, County of Lake, Village of Vernon Hills, official oath. I, Patrick L. Crease,
I, Patrick L. Crease,
have been appointed to the position of Chief of Police
having been appointed to the position of Chief of Police
in the Village of Vernon Hills,
in the Village of Vernon
in the
Hills,
County of Lake,
in the County of Lake,
do solemnly swear and affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the Office of Chief of Police
of the Office of Chief of Police
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Chief, congratulations.
Thank you.
The tree was
Yeah, he doesn't want to. That's fine. Thank you. Okay. I think Jackie just gets to do the honors now and makes me bleed, right? Kim, you want to get a shot of this?
Oh, you're asking for a lot here. Okay.
Perfect.
Now give them a kiss for crying.
So there's, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, if we could, there's one more thing. Both Mark and I, we've worked together on a couple associations over the years, but we never worked very closely together. We just didn't have that opportunity. But in the course of the last 5 weeks, we've gotten to know each other a lot. And we've sat down, we've talked through a lot, and it's amazing how aligned our philosophies are. And one of the things that was clear in his career, and I think in mine, is we're both really committed to an honorable police officer service. And the oath of office that we take is very important. And so one of the things we're going to do tonight is start a tradition that a police officer sworn in or promoted will reaffirm that in the law enforcement oath of honor. So I've asked Mark to deliver that to me tonight. So.
Now, for 40 years, I've gotten away without wearing reading glasses. But you've given me this with like 2 points flat. I have no choice. And I'm going to put out Dave Brown's because I don't even have one. I can't. Raise your right hand. On my honor, I will never betray my badge,
On my honor, I will never betray my badge,
my integrity, my character, or the public trust.
my integrity, my character, or the public trust.
I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions.
I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions.
And I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency that I serve.
I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency I serve.
Very good. Thank you very much, sir.
Want me to sign this? make it legal. Thank you, sir. And we're going to get new ones made.
Oh, he turns this into us, huh? Yes. Yeah, nice. Okay, chief. All right. Very nice to meet you, sir. Your mother, your family. And your tall sons.
No, I believe this is your beginning. I believe this is my, as they say, sine die, or sin die, as the rest of it.
Oh, yeah.
Just another pen.
Well, here, we can. I guess.
Thank you.
Mark,
Mark,
I will see you.
Thank you.
remember, I need some yellowfin tuna. Okay.
I gotta stay.
Okay. Okay. Next item is Assistant Village Manager.
I guess nobody wanted to stay for U.S. Health Fest. So, Your Honor, as you're aware, U.S. Health Fest appeared before the Planning and Zoning Commission back in April at a time a recommendation was put forth before the village board. However, since that time, the number of questions have come up as it relates to the proposed mental health hospital at 300 North Milwaukee Avenue, which has led to a number of conversations between staff, members of the board, and U.S. Health Fest regarding the use and the operations of their facility. Due to that, there's been a number of delays in having this item appear back before the village board for consideration. At this time, I just want to let you know that we are tentatively scheduling them to appear before the village board at the committee of the whole on July 18th. There's still a number of meetings that we are looking to have between members of the community, the board and staff, and we're looking to have those done hopefully very quickly, but we are still working with them on scheduling some of those additional conversations. So at this time, July 18th, and we'll certainly keep the board apprised as to any updates that may occur in the meantime.
Are they having any other conversations with any other communities?
Not that they have made me aware of, though I know that's certainly one of the things that we have been advised of other conversations within the Lake County region.
So you're saying yes?
Yes.
Right, okay. All right. All right. Since, you want me to answer it for you, Doctor?
Sure. No, I was just going to say that I saw on the website that they'd sent a letter to the state asking that their certificate of need for the Northbrook site still be kept in play until things were fully decided there. That was sent in April, I think. So,
Plus they're talking to Waukegan, according to the center.
Yes.
That is
Right, okay. All right, just lay that out for public consumption. All right, Streetlight electric supply bid process.
Thank you very much. I wanted to update the board that on June 14th, we will be going out on the market for streetlight electric supply. So NYMEX is the company that we work with that puts things out on the market, much like what we did for selling of bonds. NYMEX stands for Northern Illinois Municipal Electric Cooperative. They work with a number of municipalities. They put together an electric package, and then they put it out on the market. So we will be opening up bids, or they will open up bids on June 14th, and then we will see where the pricing is. Based on that, we may go with a 1-year contract, 2-year contract, or 3-year contract, depending how the numbers come in. But why I am sharing this in advance of the next board meeting is within 24 hours, whatever those numbers are, we have to sign an agreement. We've already budgeted for this, so it's no surprise. It's just alerting the board, June 14th, we will open up bids, and we will ask the village manager to sign a document committing us to pay for that energy pricing. So that's really my update.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board on that one? If not, next is omnibus vote agenda. Is there a motion to approve items A through P?
So made. Second.
Motion is second. Any comments or questions? If not, roll call.
Trustees Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Oppenheim,
Aye.
Takaoka, Hebda.
I'll vote. So, do we need, no, we got 4. Good. Motion carries. Okay, next item, unfinished additional business? New business. Any new business to come before the board? Okay. Like is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting and go into committee of the whole? And we're not going into closed session tonight?
Correct, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, so is there a motion to adjourn the board meeting and go to committee of the whole?
So made. Second.
Motion is second. Roll call, please.
Trustees Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Oppenheim,
Aye.
Takaoka, Hebda, Schultz.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to call the committee of the whole meeting to order. Approval of the committee of the whole meeting minutes of May 16th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve?
So made.
Second.
Motion is second. Comments, questions, corrections, deletions? If not, roll call.
Trustees Cook,
Aye.
Oppenheim,
Aye.
Takaoka, Hebda, Schultz,
Aye.
Markwart.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Request from Brunswick Zone Hawthorne Lanes for approval of facade renovations at 316 Center Drive. And your name, please, sir?
My name is Kevin Lauterbach. I'm the district manager for Bullmore AMF. I oversee the facility.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I can provide the board a summary, if you will. The request, as you stated, is for Brunswick, and as the board is aware, their facility is located just west of Carson's Furniture, north of NTB. Their building is set back approximately 275 feet from Ring Road. So with that, they're proposing to update their facade to draw greater attention to their facility. The photo in front of you represents what the building looks like today, which is basically a brown brick building with a brown metal-clad entrance canopy. The photo in front of you there represents what they would propose to do to the facade. Primarily, they'd be painting the brick. The top and bottom would be a gray color. The middle 8 feet would be a dark tone red that would be highlighted with a white color at the top and bottom of that. In addition, they would be replacing the existing brown metal material at the canopy with a red colored metal material. The design theme that's seen here would apply to all 4 sides. This is a view up close, but taken from an angle as if you were on Ring Road, and it would look like that. This would be the west elevation as it stands today. Would look like that. This is the north elevation, the back of the building, and in the end it would look like that. So again, we've accomplished 4-sided architecture. The existing sign that was shown on the first elevation would remain with no proposed changes. I should also note that as a condition of approval, Brunswick has been notified that their site, including the parking lot, sidewalks, and landscaping, would have to be upgraded in accordance with village requirements. So tonight, if the committee feels that the proposed facade renovation is appropriate, then staff should be directed to prepare an ordinance approving the renovation in accordance with the pictures that are in front of you and the plans that are attached to your packet. And a representative from Brunswick is here to answer any questions that you might have.
Any comments or questions from the board on this? Trustee Schultz.
I'm not real keen on destroying a nice iron spot brown brick building. I guess I don't have a problem doing it on the current sides that are just painted white, but across the front there, not a fan. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to waiving the sign requirements and getting some additional signage on the front, and/or allowing them to put a monument sign or something at the far reaches of their parking lot that would be more visible from the ring road, wherever that could be managed based on their ownership and/or whatever cross easements they can get from others that own property closer to Ring Road. But I'm not in favor of destroying a nice finished brick with paint. That's just a no-go in my world.
Trustee Cook.
While I would normally agree, I think, is there a chance you could tone the red down a bit? Make
Absolutely.
it a little more subtle?
Sure.
Because normally I would be in the same frame of mind. The biggest difference here is this location is, it's pretty well set back, and it's a little hard to see from almost anywhere other than that one corner on Ring Drive. And anything that can help this building, maintain what it is now, I think is a positive, because I'd like to see that stay the quality bowling alley that it is now and the quality entertainment area that it is now. So if you could tone the red down just a little bit, I really don't have a problem with it.
Okay, there are options.
Trustee Markwart.
I would have to agree with Mr. Cook in regards to it sets back so far, and this is a way to make it announce itself. I would like the red, though, to probably quiet down a little bit, but I have no problems with it.
Anyone else want to comment on this? I was going to say, the signage issue is an issue because we don't control the ring road.
That's correct. And what's unique about this property is they don't have frontage.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know that.
So it wouldn't even qualify them for a ground sign. They could apply for a variation, of course, and go through an approval process that way.
Well, would it, yeah, okay. But as far as putting something out on Center Drive, could we do that? Or is there already a sign there?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, there'd have to be a variation. The property owner that fronts on Center Drive, where the access drive is to Brunswick, would have to grant permission for an easement to allow the sign to be there, and he's unwilling to do so.
Well, what if we actually did something that, I don't know if we have any other building in town, maybe we do, it's, maybe on a taller office building, but do we let him go high?
With the sign?
Yeah, and, like rooftop or something.
If,
I mean, he's not, there's, is there any housing that we, would be, starkly, visible to that, or no?
well, the sign code doesn't allow signs to go above the top of the roof.
Well, I know that.
So it would require a variation, but that's something to consider. A ground-mounted sign with a variation that's on Brunswick's property but has the most visibility as possible from Ring Road is a possibility. But signage is an option. Any of them, and it could be a taller sign that's a ground-mounted
Well, that's,
sign.
well, I mean, just something like that rather than painting the whole place red. You know what I mean? Because off the back, nobody's you know, why, you know?
Right.
Other than if you're sealing is that even brick back there, or is that just concrete?
That's all brick.
Is it back there? Okay. I thought it was ribbed or something, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I prefer you just leave the building alone and help the guy out with some signs, you know?
Yeah,
I mean, it would be probably the only place that I could think of where we would do something like that.
yeah, your property only extends basically your parking lot. You don't, the driveway.
No, it's easement.
Okay, so you just own the parking lot portion of the driveway.
Correct.
Yeah, so it would be that corner of your parking lot, I guess that's the southeast corner, if I'm
Right.
not directionally
Yes,
challenged.
yeah.
Yeah, and I got no problem putting up a 20-foot sign.
A monument sign there.
Yeah, that, I just hate painting.
Understood.
Yeah, I don't, yeah,
So-
It becomes a maintenance issue
It's uncool.
and everything else. So, I mean, you look at the Bally's and that looks like, the old former Bally's, and that really looks like something.
yeah.
Maybe, Your Honor, maybe an option would be to design something architecturally that could be integrated into the building. Maybe something for the end or some kind of, maybe, I'm not saying a tower element, but something similar to that, where they could actually design something. It looks like it's part of the building, but yet would enhance the signage that could be placed on the building.
So you should be able to see over.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Well, why don't we do that?
Yeah,
I
so.
mean, I'm okay with that, but I mean, I don't know if the rest of the board is, but,
Yeah, I'm
You know.
good with signage variations.
I'd like to see.
yeah, see a drawing. How
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
about that one?
That's good. Believe me, at this point, anything will help.
Now, do you guys own these all over the area? Do you have other ones?
Yes, there are 309 in our chain.
Oh, all over the country?
Yes, all over the
Oh,
country.
Okay.
Where's the nearest here? Bolero or?
The Bolero in Buffalo Grove.
That's yours, too?
That's just a different brand.
Yeah.
Waukegan, you mentioned before.
What do you get in
Deerfield.
Buffalo Grove? Is there a tall sign there?
No, that's challenged as well, but it's got some street
Yeah, but that's
visibility.
got better.
It's set back, but yeah, this is
Yeah.
obviously
Oh, this one is.
extremely unique.
And you've got about a 6-8 foot monument sign too by the driveway entrance there too. You got signs on the only reason I know is my
at Buffalo Grove,
granddaughter
yeah.
was in a dance recital Sunday, and I was there in the
Past it.
cultural center across the street.
Okay. Yeah, you can recognize that.
Yeah.
We're challenged in this location.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you want, does that sound good to
It
you?
sounds fine. I mean, it's something we can go back with, and I can, report that to the powers that be. So, just so I understand this, then, the paint is not even worth toning it down, getting a scheme, just so I know what we're doing.
This seat votes no.
Okay.
I'd say no too. I mean, the sign might help you better,
It could.
you know?
The purpose is that you have to be seen, and that's, I try to do whatever I
Right.
possibly can. to make it-
Probably money well spent.
And if you light the sign, in the wintertime, it'll draw sight line as opposed to even, you're still 300 feet on a diagonal back off a ring road, so you're not gonna, the building's not gonna jump out at you as much as a
sign
big
will.
sign would.
Okay.
Can I ask what would your preference be?
Ground or building sign?
Obviously, the sign would be huge, but again, we're challenged in that, if I'm understanding correctly, again, that southeast corner, there's not a whole lot of visibility there. My gut would say that a building sign probably be more bang for our buck. Again, depending upon, dimensions and restrictions.
As
Because-
opposed
I mean, on the top of the building.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. To me, that would make more sense, again, only because of that glimpse you catch on what is that, ring?
Right.
That you got a second to catch that, so.
So what was the goal of painting it? Was it so that you can tell people that we're the gray and red building, look for us, or?
I don't pick the color, sir. No, seriously, it's across the company. That's pretty much the company branding colors. We've toned it down. I've got some centers that are minimal red. They're predominantly gray.
No, I'm not so much concerned about the actual colors themselves, but the point of painting was so that it would indeed increase visibility.
The visibility, and of course, this is a unique situation that it's,
Yeah.
I agree with you, it's probably not going to offer as much of a bang for a buck. Some of the facilities weren't aging as nicely as others. Did I say that correctly? So that's been the motive across the company. We've done the exteriors of all of our facilities.
Okay, so you weren't really unique in that regard, then, it wasn't? Because you're hidden that, oh
No,
my gosh,
no,
we have
no,
to
no,
paint the
it's
building
across the
so that
board.
people can see it.
Yes, it's across the board.
Okay.
So I'm good with we've got something to work on at least. We're good with that.
So I think the building sign is the route we're going to go down, and it would be, maybe working with the facade to increase the height at the corner of the building there so that we could create what would be a logical area for a sign that's not just above the roof of the building. If I'm hearing the board correct, we go down
Yeah,
that
but you're
avenue?
saying where the sign is in the picture,
Yeah,
Brunswick Zone, you're just saying put a facade of some kind.
yeah, something architecturally that looks nice
Yeah.
and creates a sign band for a taller sign, wall sign.
Right, a bigger sign.
thought too is even-
Again, I'm not averse to that corner of the lot. I mean, this is the satellite view of it. And that corner, gets you 100 feet closer to Ring Road. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish in total. Yeah.
Even the front
Just to help clarify, if we do the building, increase the height of the building, it's in a B1 zone district, so the height is either 35 or 40 feet. That's the height limitation for the building in that district. They're nowhere near that. So there's a possibility they could raise the height of the building in that corner to make the building look architecturally pleasing, create the sign band, put a sign on it that meets the sign code requirements, which is
Or
one
exceed it.
right, and then come back to the board for consideration of a facade renovation with a compliant sign that's much more visible to Ring Road. And we could go down that road.
Even the front entrance or the under area could then add color to it too, to make it stick out.
Yeah.
So combination.
Okay. Understood.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, next is the VHAC Field naming to honor Mark Peterson and Mark Kendati. Public Works Director Brown.
Thank you, and I understand that the board will have some good feedback on this. Also, really wanted to bring this back to the board, just give you an update, allow you an opportunity to give us some direction. What we're looking to do is to honor two people, Mark Peterson and Mark Kendati. In your board packet, it outlines what they've done for the village in terms of the sports world. And we've had different discussions. I've had discussions with Mayor Byrne. I've talked to the Park District. We've involved a few other people on their input. So we have a couple of different options. In your packet, this is one option. We could put a sign out there. There's other options that we've talked about. The Park District has one of the figurines that they have around their sites, statues. And they're willing to donate one to the cause. And a proposal would be to have this figurine on top of some sort of concrete base. What we've learned from the Park District with those is they do get vandalized, and if you elevate them, try to create something that people won't climb on them, that's their larger issue. That's one option. We don't have a budget set, so I'm struggling a little bit in terms of what my budget may be to work through this. So that's another option, that we could have one single statue, and then we can have different monument plaques for each of those. Because, we're honoring two people. There may be some others in the future that we want to put their names on. So one central location. There's also been discussions for specifics. Mark Kendati was very important to the Stinger program. Looking at, let's see if this is going to work. So
7 and
if Mike Stordo could switch to the field map,
Field 7 and 8.
So as he's doing that, Mark Hendotti was involved with fields 5 and 6 because that's where the Stingers play. So they would prefer that there be something that is a female softball player and it be closer to fields 5 and 6. One of the downsides of that is Lincolnshire Prairie View School owns that property. So if we put it on their property, it may not be there in perpetuity. In terms of Mark Peterson, he's been more involved with the football program, baseball program. So the preference for them is something more baseball related or football related, and maybe that one goes further into the site closer to the pinwheel. So those are different options that we've explored, had discussions.
You and I were out there one day, as far as for Mark Candati, didn't we have a strip of land there where the path
We
was?
do have that. That property.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, sir. Looking at our map, if you look where it says field 7 and 8, if you go immediately north there, you may recall that there was a trailer that was there at one point.
Right.
That certainly is on our property, and we could put something at that location, whether it's just for Mark or Mark Hendotti, or whether we add something for Mark Peterson there. One of the things I'd really like to understand, a couple of questions that we'll have to work through, is what's the budget for this project? What do we want to honor them in one location, or do we want to have separate ones? If we're anticipating, honoring future people, we may want to have it in one location and build upon that each time. So that's my general thought.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I was just gonna say what prompted all of this was, this goes back in time. I mean, I had some of the guys from the Stingers ask for this, like you said, it was probably 6-7 years ago. Yeah. And then I got a letter from Bill McNamara, who was the head coach of the Stevenson, high school for years and won the state championship 2 years ago. He wrote a letter of recommendation to me on Mark Peterson. So, in essence, I think we should do 2 signs. And, if there's, what would it cost for the ones that, you showed in the picture to just show, or do we do a stone of some sort for Candati?
Candati. So to answer your first question, as far as that type of sign, it depends if we ended up adding some lighting of it, or if it's just a sign itself. We would look for a budget for one sign of being in the, depending if it's lighted, adding some plantings around it, we'd be in the $7,000 to $8,000 range for one of them.
Without the lighting?
Lighting, I think that we may end up going with something more solar in nature unless we have some electricity right in the location. That's going to be one of our larger expenses.
The reality is you're either going to be out there during the daylight or you're going to be out there when the lights are on, you know? And after that, you shouldn't be out there.
Time to go home.
Well, the gate's closed. What time do you close the gate? Like 10:30? Or curfew? Yeah. I don't think we have to go crazy.
Okay.
Trustee, did you have yours on time or no? Trustee Oppenheim. Oh, Trustee Schultz.
I'm more inclined, I like the Hall of Fame or Walk of Fame or Wall of Fame. The last couple of weeks, the golf tournaments at Colonial, at the Ben Hogan Wall there, and all the past winners, and then this past week, the Memorial Tournament. Each year they have an honoree. This year it was the Shark, Greg Norman, and they have a wall where they put up a plaque or something of that nature of people that have made significant contributions to the game. And in this particular case, it would be people that have made contributions to the Vernon Hills athletic programs, for lack of a different term, just a generic. So that would be, both softball, football, lacrosse, soccer, baseball, If I missed any, tennis, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, well, okay.
So,
That wasn't the intent of my recommendation, okay? Because of the fact that these
that's
guys,
fine.
I mean, I see, we could do the separate wall on top of it, but you got people that really did come in and get these programs going.
I
Go ahead.
don't know the guy's name, and, shame on me, but there was a guy that was always here with Mark. Greenberg?
No.
No, you're thinking of Mark's,
Mark?
Mark
Yeah, the other Mark.
Goldberg.
Hmm?
Goldberg, so.
No. It's, Jesus Christ, this kid was a good player on the
Yeah, he had
football team.
glasses and,
He was but he came in later than.
Okay, well-
I'm talking, in this case, these guys went back to when we opened it up.
yeah.
I mean, that's where, especially,
No,
in all deference, especially to Mark Peterson, in organizing the Cougar Youth, a sports program, period.
Right.
Where our kids don't go to Libertyville for anything anymore.
Right.
With GLSA, we used to go.
Right.
Football, we used to go.
It was Boys Club.
Baseball, my kids played
come
at
on.
Mundelein.
No, I mean, but it
No
took a
problem.
lot of time and effort for
Yeah,
him
no,
and the original guys that volunteered.
Right.
And that's it, and the fact that we built that facility, but go ahead.
But, with that being said, again, they'd be the first honorees on some kind of,
Or you name, okay, if you want to do that, then maybe you name the memorial plaque after them, and then whoever comes after, so be it.
Yeah,
I mean, give them
work, too.
something of prominence.
yeah.
Yeah, instead of, okay, trustee Schultz, then trustee Cook on the plaque, and, trustee Oppenheim.
So I was going to suggest in that triangular patch of land there southwest of Field 3, that might be a spot for something, since we own the land and it wouldn't really be an impediment to any of the activities that go on. You might want to fit something in there.
Sure. And whether the board wants to go in this direction or not, but Jim, you did bring up the wall. I just wanted to make sure that everyone's aware also, there is a memorial. Whether we want to go in this direction or not, I just wanted to point that out. But along the outfield of Field 3, we've put a series of benches in, and there are tree opportunities for planting, and there have been some people who have passed that we have memorials for. I think.
Did they have anything to do with
Yes.
organizing these leagues, or was it parents?
It
Like
was,
their mom and dad or something?
this was, I think Julie Green, I believe her name is, Julie Smith, I'm sorry. But,
You're Christians.
yeah, so there's already one or two out there, there's some benches. So it's just a separate opportunity, whether you want to have these names added to it or not. That's the board's discretion, obviously.
I would just like these two individuals for helping starting the programs.
I would agree.
They have more prominence than whoever comes next, and you put them up there for whatever reason.
Absolutely. Mayor, listening to your lead there, one other thing is a prominent facility is the gazebo in the center of the pinwheels. Could we call that, Peterson something? But maybe maybe that's an opportunity.
Right. Well, again, I mean, I've had conversations with Jeff Fugere and with Dave Dorhofer. I would certainly encourage those guys and the other, whoever's headed the Stingers now, okay, that actually knows, Candati.
Yeah.
To, okay, come up with, I think closer to the fields where he was, actively involved would be more appropriate, just because that's where the girls still play.
Right.
And then with Mark, I mean, he did as much for football as he did for baseball, and the guy that, made this request, obviously, he's a football coach, and a lot of the boys that he coached, went through the Cougar program. Just like the second place championship team. They all came up through the Cougar youth programs.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't want to make this too complicated, but I mean, and I don't necessarily want to spend 40 grand on it. I'm just saying, put up a sign, if you want a sign that can add other people's names with plaques or something, I don't have a problem with that.
And it would be
I just
a
think
good place then to place the statue that the Park District is offering, and then at some point in the future, add additional statues into that area for a Pop Warner junior football player and/or,
Well, okay, to do something where you could put other people's names up there in the future, you're gonna need more than, what, $5 grand per location?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm trying to envision what,
Right.
what I'm trying to budget for, and I'm picturing if we have a statue that's donated and we have some concrete base for it
And
that's elevated where you can put those plaques on. We're into 15,000
Per sign.
per sign. We can, if that number is too high, we might be able to do something for Mark Candotti over towards the fields 5 and 6 in that area and have something separate for others. But it's, do we want one location? Do we want 2 locations?
I'd rather do 2, because in all honesty, Mark and the original guys that worked with him, that was baseball and football.
Okay.
So,
That's what really got, and then, of course, they were involved with basketball too in the early years. But then later came the soccer, later came lacrosse.
how about if we do this? Dave will work with a sign company. We'll put together a couple of signs that says something like Mark Peterson Fields or Mark Candotti Fields.
Right.
We'll put together something that you guys can look at. So we'll have to work with a sign company. We'll put together a landscape area around it, so that and we'll find a location on the site, and we'll come back to you with regards to that, so you all can see that and the like, and agree on the location, and then we'll put some hard numbers to it. With regards to the wall or the statue idea, let us kick that around a little bit, and maybe it's a statue that we have the ability to add names to, either in brick form or some other form. And we'll come back to you for maybe a longer-term project that we can budget for next year. But we'll attack the sign part of this immediately and come back to you guys with something as soon as we can get some drawings up and go from there. Does that work okay, Your Honor?
Yeah, within reason, yeah. I mean, I'd just like to get these 2 out of the way, and then if we want to, go with something else in the future, but I brought up 2 names specifically, and that's...
Well, and I think
that's what I intended to do.
I think Trustee Markwart has some ideas on the sign.
Yeah.
And we did some work on some signs, so which were less than the 5,000 mark. So I'll be in touch with you, and I'll, John, to make sure you have them. But I think 2 signs for the 2 individuals.
And we'll make sure it's part of the design vocabulary of the complex, so that
Right.
they all work. So.
Okay. Any other comments on this one? All right, so we'll
Thank
bring
you
it
for
back
your
in a
input.
month or so, or, okay,
Yes, sir. Thank you for your input.
all right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So made.
Second.
Motion second, roll call, please.
Trustees Takaoka, Hebda, Schultz. Markwart,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Oppenheimer.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you and good night.